My name is Kevin, and I'd like to tell you how I met the love of my life. Now, there's something you must know about her straight away. She used to be an exotic dancer. You know the type. They disrobe in front of clients and make everyone in the place very happy. Yes, that is what Lily did for a living, all right. Before meeting her, I thought I was simply too busy to date anyone at all. I worked as a real estate agent and taught private lessons on how to invest their money wisely. I was always earning money, and that made me quite wealthy, but I was also super lonely. Sure, I had friends, but there was something else missing in my life. I refused to accept that I needed a girl to keep me company. I'd always thought that I was above that kind of nonsense, you know? Anyways, to relax after a long day of work, I would usually frequent certain clubs. I didn't feel bad about it. After all, I was single and felt kind of lonely. They gave me an excuse to have a drink, unwind, and enjoy the company of some pretty dancers. A win-win situation, right? My favorite club was the Dirty Pickle. It was classier than its name might suggest, and they made excellent drinks. Plus, the music was half decent, and the company was amazing. All the women there were incredibly beautiful, and they always had big smiles on their faces. They danced most of the time, but sometimes I'd chit-chat with them a bit. Nothing serious, just flirting and bantering in between dances. That all changed when I met the beautiful Lily. When she came over, I almost choked with my drink. She was so stunning. There was something else about her that just stole my breath away. Perhaps it was the way she smiled, or maybe the way she tossed her long hair back. One way or another, I was smitten. I was amazed by her, and I tried talking to her a bit before she actually did some dancing. Usually the dancers don't allow clients to waste too much time talking, but since I paid for the time, they reluctantly accepted it. Eventually, though, I asked her to dance for it and paid her fee. She was far better than all the others in that club, and in any other I had visited. She was so good that I gave her a big tip and asked her for another dance. I think I must have paid for 6 or 7 dances that night and used up all the money I had brought with me that night. I couldn't get enough of her. I started going to the club almost every single night. I couldn't get enough of the beautiful Lily. When she wasn't around, I'd mope around a bit at first. As the weeks went by, I decided that I would only go when she was there. So I asked for her schedule. She was a bit hesitant to give it to me at first, and I can't blame her. I bet there are a lot of creeps who stalked her or bothered her when she was there. Eventually, I earned her trust, and she decided I was all right. So she let me know what nights she'd be at the club, and if her shifts ever changed, she left a note with the bouncers. It took me some time to convince her to give me her number next. At first, I just told her it was so she could text me whenever she was going to be dancing. She didn't really believe that and teased me about it. She called me a schmoozer. I teased her right back, and we always ended up bantering and flirting. It was clear to me that Lily liked me. I know that girls like her have to pretend they fancy the guys they dance for in order to get a nice tip, but that wasn't it. I saw the way she behaved around other guys, and it was nothing like how she smiled when I was around. We had something special, but I understood it wasn't easy for her to admit she had feelings for me. After all, dating while being an exotic dancer wasn't easy. She could get in trouble if I got jealous. It could be a real mess. Anyways, it took me some time and a lot of texts, but eventually she agreed to go out on a date with me after her shift. I paid for dances all night long while I waited for her to be ready to leave. She made some great tips for me that night, I can tell you that much. The date was amazing, the best I've had in years. I began to realize that I might, after all, need some company in my life. Maybe it wasn't so bad to actually have feelings for a beautiful young woman. She tried to pretend that she wasn't into me at first, but when I asked her on a second date, she said yes immediately. We went just about everywhere together from that night on. I would wait till her shift was over, and when she had a day off, she'd sometimes even come over to my house just to hang out. It felt amazing to spend my time with someone I had deep feelings for. I looked forward to getting off work. Even though I kept making a really good living, it was like I could have the best of both worlds, without needing to sacrifice either my professional nor love lives. Lily was so much fun to have around, and she was an amazing kisser. We didn't rush into showing our love for each other physically. I wanted it to be special, and when it finally happened, it really was. After a few weeks of dating this amazing girl, I finally told my friends about her. They weren't really supportive, if I have to be perfectly honest. No matter who I spoke to, they always said the same. My friends and family warned me that I was going to get my heart broken. Some thought she was using me, and others thought I just liked her because she was hot and danced amazingly. I tried to explain to them that our feelings were real, but everyone seemed super skeptical. I can't say I blame them, though. The truth of the matter is, I probably would have told them the same if the tables were reversed. It seemed strange for someone to be seriously dating an exotic dancer. And if I hadn't known Lily as well as I did, then perhaps I would have thought the same about her. But Lily was amazing. She was smart and interesting and so funny. There was so much about her to like. And when she was around me, it seemed like I was the only person that mattered to her. It made me feel special and cherished. I know it might sound silly, but having never been in love before, it was really a big change for me. Eventually, we became more serious. Everything was okay at first. She'd spend a few nights a week at my place, and we'd go to events together. For instance, when one of my cousins got married, she was my date for the party. My aunt wasn't too convinced about having her there.
Sorry, Nene.
Christina, how many times do I have to tell you not to interrupt me while I'm doing my thing on CoinMap?
But Lily was perfectly lovely to everyone in my family and soon won everyone over. The truth of the matter was, though, I ended up doing what I promised I wouldn't do. I began feeling jealous of her dancing for others. I loved her dancing for me, but when I saw her with other men, it broke my heart. It was so messed up. I knew what she did for a living. I had met her that way. I used to be a client. So what right did I have to tell her that she needed to quit? Especially after promising her I wouldn't do such a thing. When we first started dating, Lily had a long talk with me. She explained that she had dealt with jealous boyfriends and that she wasn't willing to go through that again. If I couldn't deal with her job, then maybe we weren't meant for each other. I still remembered that conversation, and at first, I tried to keep my promise. I tried so hard. But after some time, it became impossible to keep up pretending I didn't care if she danced for other guys. I got so stressed out and ended up being in a bad mood almost every single day. It was nasty and unfair to both of us, so I decided to be honest with her, and finally let her know that I couldn't deal with her work any longer. She got super upset, but that didn't surprise me at all. After all, she had every right to be mad at me. Lily said she knew I would end up doing exactly this and that she couldn't deal with any of it again. She said that maybe it was best if we simply broke up. I tried to make things work. I really did. I suggested she could maybe get a regular job. Lily immediately refused. She told me that she made 3 times as much, working only a few hours every night, rather than 8-hour shifts at some store. So after arguing day after day, I finally told her that she didn't need to work at all. I was wealthy enough to support her and help maintain her lifestyle that she had grown accustomed to. Lily seemed reluctant at first. I couldn't blame her. After all, what happened if we ended up breaking up and I didn't feel like supporting her any longer? That was when I realized I had to make a real commitment to her if I wanted to keep her in my life. After all, Lily would be giving up so much for me if she quit her job. I realized that I wanted her to be my partner and my best friend for the rest of my life. So I knelt and popped the question. I had bought an expensive, beautiful engagement ring the day before, and she was so stunned when she saw it. Lily looked so beautiful at that very moment, and I couldn't believe it when she finally said yes. We kissed and hugged, and I took her out for a lavish dinner downtown. She ended up quitting her job the very next day, and we began planning our wedding. I'm not exaggerating when I say it was the happiest day of my life. She was dressed in a long, gorgeous white gown and had never looked more beautiful. We've been married for 4 years now, and I don't regret my decision for a single second. She's gone back to study and is going to be graduating next month. Lily said she wanted to try for a child after she was done with her studies, so I'm really excited about those 2 things happening. We sure proved my friends and family wrong, and they all adore her now. Actually, I think my mom might even like her more than she does me. She still dances nowadays, but only for me, and she's still amazing at it, by the way. Thanks for watching. Have you ever fallen in love with someone your friends don't approve of? Let us know in the comments. Don't forget to subscribe and check out other videos on the channel. Hey guys!